for a kid in the military, that's always very difficult to answer. So I was born in North Carolina. My father was United States Army, so we traveled generally all over the world, specifically Asia, like Japan, Korea, Alaska, and then I kind of settled roots in Virginia. So I call home kind of Hampton, Virginia, but Northern Virginia now is becoming my new home. Favorite role model or celebrity? I mean, really, for me, my role model has been kind of like my mom. I mean, she has gone through so much in her life, and she's been there for me coming out both times with, you know, being gay and being positive, and then also she's been a good person motivating me to better myself. So that's definitely my mom is definitely a huge support structure in my life, and she's a role model as well. So my story is kind of unique. It got to a point where I just was in denial. So, you know, I had the cough, I had, you know, losing weight, I wasn't feeling good at all, and I noticed I was getting sick more often. World AIDS Day came around, and it was December 1st, 2011, I'll never forget that day. And I was at work, and, you know, I was on YouTube, like what I do. Like, I'm supposed to be working, and I'm actually just browsing the web. But I came across a live streaming event on YouTube, and it was discussing World AIDS Day. And at that moment, I had a conversation with myself, and it was just like, you know, I can either go get tested today or just be in denial for the rest of my life. And so I made that one of the hugest decision in my young adult life, by going and making that decision to go get tested.
And so, after you got the test results back, what was your reaction?
Shock. I felt alone. Right off the bat, I felt like I was a pariah. Like, I felt like I wouldn't be accepted by society. You know, the person who tested me in my process of getting tested was like the worst ever. And so it really it put me in a really dark place. And it really put me in a dark place. I felt so alone. And if it wasn't for my friends and family and, you know, me educating myself, I don't know where I would be at today.
And so it's clear, I mean, it was a very emotional time, emotional news to get back. And physically, socially, it also impacted you? Or?
Yeah. Physically, you know, I lost weight. I had to kind of go back to the gym. You know, I was tired. When I got on the medication, you know, it was obviously a time period where my body was adjusting. Now I'm fine on them. I have no issues. And then socially, you know, for the misfortune of my life, because it's like a movie, it's like a setting of a movie, I told one of my friends who I thought was a good friend out of confidence, and he went and told somebody else. And that person told somebody else. And so I ended up, one night, logging on to Facebook and seeing someone having blood being drawn. And I'm like, okay, well, let me be nosy and click on that. And so I click on that, and I see that, and I also see a negative test result. And in like where you can describe how you're feeling on Facebook, it was basically saying, you know, and I'm just can't remember it verbatim, but I know it said something to the effect of, I know I'm clean, I know one of you out there is not, you know, take your AIDS and go back into the hole that you came from. And from that moment, you know, I shut down, and I went into a place where I didn't go out. I had no confidence at all. I took off all my social media, and I just hid. For months I hid, and you know, I was off of social media, I would say, for about 6 months, just because of that. So socially, it was very tough. But I'm in a place now where I accept who I am and accept what I'm going through, and I don't let negative influences like that faze me, because at the end of the day, everyone's always going to have an opinion about something, but I choose not to let that affect my life.
Mm-hmm. And like along that process, were there certain individuals, like your mother, that you relied on for continued support, or how did you go about that?
Yeah, so I call these people, on my blog, I call them my rocks. And I use that terminology because they're solid. Even if they're broken, they're still rocks. So they can be broken down, they can be changed in shape or size, but they're still going to be rocks. And it was my best friend, you know, Davia, she was there for me. I've had my family, my family, so they've been support structures for me. Even partners who I've dated have been there for me as well. And I've had friends. And, you know, yes, I've kind of had to, I guess you can say, decrease the amount of people I have in my life, but the people that I have in my life are so rich, and they continue to support me every day. And so it's been a vast improvement, and it's been great. And I always say, without my family, without my friends, I don't know where I would be at, because they've been a major help with this process.
Mm-hmm.